The 50 move rule in chess was a rule that was introduced long back to avoid a game going indefinitely. When there is no progress possible, this rule basically applies. So the rule is 50 consecutive moves without a pawn move or a capture is a draw. So a player can claim a draw by stopping the clock and calling the arbiter if he believes that for the last 50 moves, consecutive moves, either player hasn't made a pawn move or capture. So this rule usually comes into the picture in positions like rook versus a king, or a bishop and knight versus a king, rook versus a bishop, or rook versus knight. It can be possible in a lot of positions, even positions where pawns are there, but if they're blocked and they cannot move or haven't moved, then the rule can apply. If you claim a draw without it being 50 moves actually, then a time penalty will be levied on you. So you have to be sure that you are right, that 50 moves have been completed. In classical tournaments, you can check your score sheet and see if 50 moves have been done since the last capture and then claim a draw. In rapid or blitz, you will have to claim according to your intuition. You will have to take a chance. So the best example of this rule in effect, the closest to the 50 thing that we got, was a thrilling game between Hikaru Nakamura and Donchenko, Alexander Donchenko, in the World Rapid Round 3. So let's have a look at what happened in those final moments where this rule came into effect.
Okay, that's the end of round three. Next round will start at 6:30 p.m. 6:30. Thank you.
So just after Hikaru Nakamura played rook to h5 check, it was move number 128. Alexander Donchenko stopped the clock and called the arbiter, claimed a draw, saying, I think it's been 50 moves since the last capture of pawn move. And when they checked, it was 50 moves. He was about to get checkmated because the only move is rook h4, and after rook moves, it's checkmate in one move. So Hikaru is just one move away from giving checkmate to Donchenko. But Donchenko just like a safety check or like a just to check, he called the arbiter and claimed as his last resource. And it turns out it was just 50 moves. Exactly 50 moves have been completed. So basically, if you go back to move number 78, that's when the last capture happened. Like here, after king into e7, this was the last capture. And there are no pawn moves possible because there's no pawns. So after this, 50 moves later is move 128, and the 50 moves have been completed with white playing rook h5. And here, Donchenko saying, I'm about to play rook h4, it will be 50 moves or it's cross 50 moves. And he was right, and he got a draw from a mate in one situation. This is the best example of 50 move rule in effect that we will ever see at the top level. Just to clarify, it doesn't have to be exactly 50 moves since the last capture. If it's been more than 50 moves, also, you will get the draw. So let's say your last capture was move number 60, and right now you're on move number 110. You played a lot of moves. So it's been 50 moves, and you played a few more moves. Let's say you reach move 125, and then you realize I should claim a draw. It's been so long since the last capture of pawn move. Then you can stop the clock, call the arbiter, tell him it's been more than 50 moves, and he will give you the draw. You have to claim the draw before you make your next move, just like when you claim a threefold repetition. So it doesn't have to be exactly 50. Minimum 50 moves without consecutive moves, without a capture or a pawn move is a draw. In online chess, chess.com or leeches or any website you play in, the 50 move will happen, rule move will happen automatically. As soon as you finish 50 consecutive moves, the game will automatically end. It will be ended by the server. You don't have to claim a draw. But in an offline tournament where you're playing over the board, then you have to claim the draw by calling the arbiter.